Alaska is known for its vast expanses and sometimes harsh weather conditions. This isolation and lack of police coverage may help explain the shocking rate of rape of Alaska Native women, without justice for survivors. Across the United States of America, Native American and Alaska Native women are 2.5 times more likely to be raped. In fact, more than 1 in 3 of them will be raped in their lifetime. Even when women such as Louisa are able to report what happened to them, convictions are rare.
He got arrested for some other issue. And I assumed that he was arrested for my rape. But I found out that he got arrested for something else. And then, I don't know how many months later, I ran into him. And he was laughing and having a great time with his friends and relatives. And I snapped that and tried to be in denial, and I sent my children to the village and disappeared. Probably about a couple of months. Nobody knew where I was. I didn't want to see anybody or talk to my children or anything like that.
Louisa works in this shelter for Alaska Native women who are survivors of sexual violence. It's in the village of Barrow and is the only one of its kind within 500 miles.
The more I share what I felt, what I seen, and what I heard, I'm hoping that for another survivor, that's going to give them that strength and hope that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. That as a victim, we don't need to be victims. And that's my hope and prayer as I keep sharing what had happened to me.
At that time, that was called Brainerd Indian Training School, and it was not only for the Indian kids in the area, but that's the first time in my whole life that I met all other tribes. There was some Navajos, there was Hopis, and there was Seneca Oneidas, Eskimos from Alaska, and some Cherokees from Oklahoma and North Carolina. But there was Indians kids from all over that went there, and it was a school, I guess, that was there, I guess, to Christianize us and I guess set us on the right path. And I didn't even know what the meaning was at that time about being saved. They said that we had to get saved from what? I don't know. But the indoctrination part of it wasn't good. It was, we had church 3 times a day, breakfast, noon, and an evening. After our chores in the evening, then we had night churches. So pretty much we were, you know, just in church all that time. I started walking out because I didn't care. You know, I wanted to go home now because nobody came after me. Well, when I was at the entrance, at the gate of the property of the school, then the principal was in a car, and he got off and he forced me in that car, and then then he took me back to their headquarters, there where him and his wife live, and he told me to kneel down in the living room and he had a big board. It was wider than a ruler. And the ironic thing of it was it had education on it, Board of Education. But he said that I had to be punished because I was going to set example for the other kids on running away. And he made me kneel down, and with that board, then he commenced to spanking me from my lower back and my buttocks and the back of my legs. And then he said that God loved me, and that I had to be saved. And anyway, that went on till I fell over. But it made me angry at the same time. I was just a little girl, but it made me angry, and I just straightened myself up and my clothes, and he told me to get back to school. And my family, nobody was there to stick up for me, and it was supposed to be a Christian school. But one of the things that really it just, I don't know, toughened me up, I guess. I guess you would say that. And I feel when I look back to that time, and when I look back to that time, then I think, that was like a breaking point in my spirit and in my life, where my spirit was, almost broken. But yet, because of the sacredness of the Black Hills, that was the Southern Black Hills, that somehow the spirits and them, they had to have their hands over me to make me survive that physical abuse, mental abuse that I went through during that time.
Let me be a free man. Free to travel, free to stop, free to work, free to trade where I choose, free to choose my own teachers, free to follow the religion of my fathers, free to think and talk and act for myself. And I will obey every law or submit to the penalty. Chief Joseph.
We've come to know a term in international law that's becoming more accepted called ethnocide. This is a role that the churches play. They do to the mind what you can't do with the bullet. That is, converting people from traditional ways of relation to the Creator, traditional ways of worship. They destroyed a lot of that, created some of the first boarding schools, as some of us experienced, and of course took on the whole system of acculturation and assimilation. You weren't allowed to speak your language, for example. Your hair was cut immediately. All traditional clothing was replaced by military clothing, and you were not allowed to speak your language. So it was almost as if they were creating a social experiment on every reservation. As we say in our communities, the Christians came with the Bible and we had the land. Now we got the Bible and they got the land.
Leave my home, my friend. Think I'll